In this 10-minute video, we're going to go through some general leg conditioning, getting us in preparation for our walking, and in specifically things that are more in unstable surfaces like walking on the beach, trail walking, bushwalking, and things like that. So all you're going to need in this session is a ball. I'm using a recharge class or a MobiBod ball, one of the larger ones. If you don't have one of them, you could use a lacrosse ball, even a massage ball, or a tennis ball is actually really good as its basic level. What we're going to start off with is we're going to place the ball underneath our top of our calf to start off with, okay? And we're just going to keep some leg pressure into the base of that, or that top of the calf there, okay? So we're pressing on the ball a little bit. And the first thing we're going to work through is some ankle motion, okay? And what we're going to do is that you're going to swipe the foot over to the inside of the body. Then you're going to try and keep it swiped as you pull that sort of face of the big toe up towards you. You try and keep it pulled up towards you as you work the foot outwards. And then you're trying to keep it outwards as you then press that foot down and around, okay? And then you'll reverse it, so you'll keep it pulled out as you come up, keep it up as you work it inwards, and then you're going to keep it inwards as you work it downwards. And we're going to do probably about 3 to 5 of these going each way. And essentially how we're going to work it, and the reason we're working it, is by trying to push ourselves into what is our controllable motion and our range of motion, or our mobility, in the purpose that we're starting to condition some ankle control for those unstable surfaces, and also letting the body know that we still need this work into our foot. Good, once we're done our 3 to 5, you'll go the other side. Same rules apply, that we're sort of trying to work into those end ranges and start to condition the body into showing that we still need this work, still understanding that it's an important point for us to have, because we don't usually work foot ranges like this until it's a point of necessity. So if you're on a rock and you start to slide, or you're on an unstable surface and then your foot moves into this position, there are some motions through our walking and running that we will have this for, but not all of it. Good, once we're done our 3 to 5 that way as well, that's all you really need the ball for, and that was just to sort of start to get the top of those calves just releasing off a little bit for our next part, being the Quadruped series. We'll bring ourselves up onto all fours. I want you to find the longest version of you between head and tail. We colloquially call this a bit of neutral. But however that feels for you, to find that length through all sides of the body and out through both ends of the body, without you feeling like you're jammed or anything like that. And then you're just going to stay here, and we're just going to breathe more into the back and sides of our ribs, while keeping that sort of, not full lift of the wall of the belly, but definitely there's a suspension, and it just might lift and lower very marginally, so we're not gripping around the pelvic floor of the diaphragm. Two more breaths here. Then we're going to work back into some rocking, leading out through the pelvis. Now our rocking, as you come home, is literally that you're sort of trying to find that length out through head and tail again. And how far can you take it? Opening up through the pelvis, letting the knees flex without changing your shape. So can we find a neutral bias stability? Good. I want you to start off by breathing out as you go back, working on that stiffness of the body, and in to come home. Out to go back, in to come home. Good, just one more. Out to go back, in to come home, and then I want you to swap it. You're going to breathe in to go back, filling up the back of the pelvic floor, spreading out through those sit bones a little bit more, and then out to pull yourself back home. In to go back, out to come home. Good. That's it. We're just going to do 2 more here, just playing with that difference of the breath patterning and how that changes the way you move, maybe the ease of you moving or the challenge of you moving. Good. That was your last one. Now what you're going to do is you're going to breathe out to go back, and you're going to turn your heels outwards. So we're trying to rotate at the knee. Then when we get back there, you're going to rotate the heels inwards and bring it home. You'll rotate out, trying to push through. And look, don't overly get hung up about the neutral now. I actually want you to focus on the knee motion as we're coming through. So we're getting that knee to work through its deep flexion and also work through rotation, which is really important. Once again for balance, change of direction, and unstable surfaces. Good, then we might reverse it. So you'll pull the heels in, you go back. You'll pull the heels out, and you'll go back. So you're finding that rotation at the knee again. In and out. And so if you are finding this a little bit sort of painful or pinchy and stuff, you can make it really small. It doesn't need to be big, right? It's got to be as big as you can handle it without finding that sort of compression and pinching. Good, we'll just make it one more. Nice. Then from there, what we're going to do is we're going to bring one leg out behind us, and we're going to rock back again, and we're going to swipe the leg over to the left-hand side, opening up through the hip. You then press it back and forward. We'll go back again. As that leg swipes over, you're actually finding that there's very little weight in your hands, and it's all dumped into that hip. And so we're just starting to get some of those deep external rotators to open up, but also load, and then bringing it home. All the while that back leg, that straight leg, is nice and engaged. We're just going to do one more. And you go back as far once again that you can feel like it starts to load the hip. You don't have to collapse into it. And back. Good. We're going to go the other side. Leg comes back and up. It's heavy engaged. As it swipes over, as you rock back, feel the load in the hip. And then use that drive of the hip to bring yourself back. And home. Just 2 more. Good. Now, if you are wanting a bit more of a challenge in through the quads in your quadruped position, you can be on your hands or your knuckles. It's up to you where you would like to be. But we're now going to tuck the toes under 2. You're going to pull yourself back up into a neutral position, but also hover the knees off the ground and run through your rocking again. Starting to get that loading in through the feet, the quadriceps, even some calves and hamstrings. And we go for about 8 to 10. 2 more. Lucky last. And then we'll bring it back from there and down. Good, kneeling ourselves up. The foot's going to come out in front for a lunge style position. You're going to square the hips up and we're just going to push forward, opening up through the hip into a kneeling lunge. And then you're going to bring yourself back. Now you can bring yourself back to wherever you feel comfortable that you can load that leg or that hip. But you know, we are aiming to try and get ourselves down to the bottom or as close to, wherever that is for you, is completely fine and okay. We're going to bring it forward, not trying to slump into it, but drive through the hips and then keeping ourselves up as we work it back. We're only going to do about 3 to 5. Up and through and down and back. We'll make that the last one. And then we're going to swap sides. Once again, find the square in the hip. We're trying to open through that front of the hip as opposed to turn it sideways and out. And then bring ourselves back down close to that heel. And then back up. That's it. Then bring it down. And up. And down. And up. Good. From there, you can hop up, or if you like a challenge, just tuck the toe under and stand up from there into your standing position. Working with some standing lunge work now. We're going to just run through a bit of a playful type of standing lunge where we're going to work our way around a clock face, so to speak, with our standing. And that's just to help with, once again, working through some unstable surfaces, change of direction, and a bit of chaos. So we step forward, lunge, and bring it back. And we'll step forward at maybe 1 o'clock, lunge, and back. Slightly to 2 o'clock, and back. Now you can come back to 2 feet, or you can come back to a single leg stance, depending on your challenge. Out to 3, and back. Back to 4, and back, and I'm just going to step forward, 5, and back, and then 6, and back. Good. And we're going to go back around, so we're going to start at 6, and home, 5, and home, 4, and home, walk, 3, and home, 2, and home, 1, and home, and then 12, and home. Good. From there, we'll go the other side. Also, if you're finding that this standing on one leg's not challenging enough, you can come back. So we'd go 12, back to one leg, calf raise, down. 1, back to center. You can go to 2 legs, 1 leg, or even add your calf raise and down. 2, up, 3, up, 4, up, 5, up, and 6, and up, and then we'll just bring it back. Don't have to do the calf raise, remember. It could be just a single leg, or it could be a double leg back to your stance. And that's a good start to getting our legs ready for our walking on those unstable surfaces like the beach and the bush. You know, places that we usually spend a lot of time in summer, on our summer holidays, or even our winter holidays. But yeah, enjoy.